Good morning, America. Today, I want to talk about the difference between a show car and a daily driver and the budget. So, a lot of people don't even know the difference between a show car and a daily driver, and what actually makes a show car and what makes a daily driver what I consider to be a daily driver. Believe it or not, to me, in my opinion, it has nothing to do with the shininess or the slickness of the paint itself. When you're building a show car, you are going to be spending between 400 and 600 hours just in metalwork. You've heard the term gapping your body lines. Well, that is where you literally go in and do the metalwork and make every single gap on your vehicle perfect, complete, every one of them match. That is the beginning of a nice show car. Now, what I consider to be a daily driver and that budget is you're not doing all that metal work to make perfect matching body lines. Instead, you are just going in and you're realigning and spending the time to better align than what the factory did, the factory body lines. On a good budget that is not a show car, I'm still going through the exact same paint process. My paint and the slickness of my paint, if that's a word, slickness, is still the exact same you're going to see on a show car, minus going down to 600 with the clear. If that is something you wanted, that can be done. But a show car, you're talking about, you know, 500 hours of metal work, 500 hours in body work, and then once it's painted, you're talking about another, could easily be 300-400 hours in cutting and buffing process. That's where your money difference comes and your budget difference comes, just in the paint process of a show car versus a daily driver car. This truck that I have been working on, I'm going to call this a daily driver truck. This is not a show truck. I first start by getting my factory body gaps aligned better than factory, and that's as much as I can do without spending hours and hours and hours of metal work gapping these body lines. Now, to the natural person that is unfamiliar with show cars, when this truck is done, they're going to look at it and think, man, that is a show truck. That is the shiniest black I ever seen, and it's perfect. Now, then you're going to have the guys that are all over Facebook that build show cars. They're going to look at it and be like, look at those body gaps. They're awful. Well, this is not a show truck. And when it is done, when it is completely done and it is beautiful to the regular person, I'm going to make a video and it's going to show how beautiful the truck is. And I'm going to say, this is not a show truck. This is a nice truck. That's it. We did not build a show truck with this truck. If you want a show truck, I have a metal guy that I can send your project to that is working aside with me. We can body gap your truck if you have that type of budget and you want to spend six figures to build your truck. We can do that. We can gap out your truck, or car. This my metal guy don't care what he works on. He just enjoys doing it, and he's immaculate work. Does really good. Never ceases to amaze me. If that's something you want to do, we can do that. But it's not cheap. You need to have an extremely high budget, $100,000 to start. if you want a show car. But on the daily driver scale, for what about the nicest truck that I can build without getting into that right now on my current rate, you're going to spend around 50 grand and you're going to have a really nice truck that is, it's gapped better than factory body lines, but it's not going to be a show truck. Now, like I said, you driving this truck around your town, pulling into the cruise in and the car shows, you're going to win awards and you're going to be probably, one of the nicest vehicles there. But if somebody comes in and their car is being gapped and they've spent six figures, they're just probably going to look a little bit better than yours. But the normal person is never going to understand it, and they're not going to even know anything about body lines and what the difference is. On my daily driver quality vehicles, I'm still using, the same paint process, from the epoxy to the polyester primer to, linear blocks or next level blocks. The really good materials, good clear. The only thing that's backing me off just a little bit is how much of the cutting and buffing process that I go into to get the laser straight finish, unless that is something a client wants to do. Unless a client wants to stack 6 coats of clear and, cut it with 600 and make it laser straight, that's not something that I would consider to be in a daily driver budget. But if you can look at my page, you can look at my work. I do nice work. I pride myself on my work. I'm not sending something out of here that looks like trash. I want to be affordable. I don't care to work with my clients on what they can afford. That don't bother me a bit. I don't want to be one of those shops that just sends everybody out the door because they can't afford my work. But I will not send something out of here that I'm not proud of because my name is on it. So whether we build you a show car, truck, or it is a daily driver budget car, truck that we build, I mainly want to focus on square bodies. I've said that repeatedly. So whichever one it is that we build, show car or driver quality, you're going to be happy with my paint work because it was done with integrity. It was done right. And my name is on it, and I'm not putting my name on anything unless it's beautiful. There's so many haters out there. I wouldn't dream of sending something out of my shop that wasn't immaculate. Because the first thing's going to happen, keyboard warriors. And I'm not going to be in that crowd and be the fresh bait for all the keyboard warriors. So I will not advertise my driver quality trucks as show trucks because they're not show trucks. But the guy that lives down the road that grew up with his grandpa and his truck that wants it redone and has a, decent little budget to put into it, when I do his truck, he's going to pride that truck like it's his show truck. He'll be proud of it. It'll be a beautiful truck. All his neighbors will be jealous, and he'll be extremely happy because he's not going to go to a show and park up to right next to a tent beside of the booth with linear blocks. He's going to drive to church on Sunday, get out, maybe wipe off a little dust, and be ecstatic with what his truck looks like. But if you want a show truck, you better have deep pockets. And you better bring your purse. There is no estimate for a show truck. I can't even quote it. It costs what it costs, and it takes what it takes. If there is a shop out here that will give you a quote on doing a show quality vehicle, you better take that quote and double it because they probably wrong and they probably lying to you just to get your work in the shop because there ain't no way to quote that because you have no idea what you're about to get into and how many hours you're going to spend in it. You just better have deep pockets and a good shop that is going to do you right and have integrity and show you the hours every week like we do and have their guys write down every day what they did do and know that you're not just being charged because your car is sitting there. A show car isn't for everybody. A show car is really, really expensive. They are nice, but that's a certain type of crowd that everybody's not in. I grew up country boy and poor. And if I had a slick paint job, I had a show truck. I didn't know the difference. So when you pull up to a nice shop that's charging $125 an hour for paint work, and you want a nice paint job, and you just go tell them, man, I want a show truck. I want to go to car shows. They're not going to be on the same page as you might be. You pull up to my shop, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about your budget first thing. You're going to know the difference between a show truck and a nice paint job. I can do some really nice paint jobs. You don't have to have a show truck to be very happy with what you're driving. Thanks for spending some time with me this morning. Remember, every Wednesday at lunch, I'm going over Square Body Classifieds. And if you want to know what Square Body Classifieds is, tune in to my Facebook at noon. If you have a truck that you are wanting to buy or you are wanting to sell, send me an email to squarebodyclassifieds@gmail.com. And every Wednesday at noon, I'm going to go over my list live on Facebook. Send me what you're trying to sell or what you're wanting to buy, your location and your phone number, and I will broadcast you live to all my followers. Hopefully this will grow, and hopefully all you guys maybe I can help you guys out. We got a lot of guys contact me all the time. I want to buy this or I want to sell this, so this is my way to kind of put it all together. Thanks for watching me. Like I said, this is Integrity Auto Paint with show cars versus daily drivers.